Monday podcast, a 3 times weekly show looking into the exciting happenings of Ipswich Town Football Club. This is the flagship show, and I promise Ben that we will talk about Ipswich and not just about the Ryder Cup. But teeing up alongside me in this 3-ball is Richard Woodward and David Diamond. How are you both?
Good linkage. Much better than Ben. much better than Ben.
I was going to say something about links as well, but
he's not. Well, there you go. He's not going to let you do it again now. That's it. Done. Very good. Just quickly, I really enjoyed the golf today. It was good, wasn't it? Do you watch any of it? You two sort of follow it, don't you? I mean, waste of time. Me, if this was Ben and Stat, just would have washed all over him. I mean, Stat didn't even know what a lob wedge was, for Christ's sake, last week. I don't know why, but
it had
to educate.
It was almost like the reverse of the Miracle Medina, wasn't it? There was a point early on where it's like, we don't want to lose it again.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
but they were just making it interesting, weren't they? Because otherwise it was going to be a bit of a procession. Did you see Bryce DeChambeau trip over walking off the 18th tee?
Damn it!
Yeah, I think it was when it might not have been the 18th. But anyway, he's looked round at his caddy as if to say, I think because he'd put it in the water, and he was saying, shall I play a provisional or play a drop? And then he sort of spun back round and tripped down the slope. Absolutely loved it.
So what, guys? Okay, we better crack on because Ben will edit.
I can hear Ben.
Do what? Edit? No!
Guys, what you do? Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the news from this week. And despite all of the rumours suggesting that nobody's getting on and it's a miserable place, Paul Hurst came out and quite interestingly describes the mood in the camp as being bubbly, which I've always thought is a term that means overweight. But
we have a great personality.
Yeah. So he was saying that the mood is great. I'm not sure whether I believe him. Do you, Rich?
It was a weird one, wasn't it? It had the kind of feelings of a David Brent, the Swindon versus the Slough lot, and we're going down the pub and the best lot haven't turned up and all that stuff. I think the answer's on the pitch, isn't it? You can say whatever he wants in press conference, but I'm still not convinced it's entirely all good behind the scenes. And I think it was a bit of a weird one. Bit David Brent, wasn't it?
He's not going to say anything different, is he?
No.
What's he going to say? He's not going to say anything different. So, you'd expect him to come out with something like that. And, because there's been fairly strong rumours recently that all is not well within not just on the pitch, but from within the club. So, he's going to try and dispel that, isn't he?
And Dino Gherkin dispatched to kind of confirm it from the player's perspective as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair enough. Fairly long-standing player, I guess that's fair enough also, And
I imagine he's feeling probably bubblier than ever at the moment, isn't he? Because he's getting that run in the side.
I should imagine he is.
Right, so let's go to the second city where we were looking for our first win. And for the first time in the Paul Hurst era, and correct me if I'm wrong, we kept the same lineup from the previous game after that inspiring 0-0 draw against Bolton. So we had Gherkin in goal, Pennington kept his spot at right back, Nsiala, that's the first time I've pronounced his name correctly on this pod, and Chambers at centre back with Knudsen at left back. Skuse and Chalobah, as they seems to be his favoured pair to sit in front of the back four. Grant Ward got another start with Nolan in the middle and Edwards on the other wing. And Jackson started up front on his own again. Dave, you may or may not have agreed with this lineup, but do you think there's a lot to be said about having a bit of continuity for a change?
Yeah, it got to be. Yeah, definitely. No, I was pleased to see that, to be fair, and pleased to see that. Perhaps we'll mention Harrison in a little while, but no more injuries to that potential, first 11 he put out yesterday. So no, I was pleased to see that. I was pleasantly surprised, I think. Probably you were, being at the game, Rich. I guess you were quite surprised by that, or not? I don't know what. I must admit, I haven't had the opportunity to hear your preview. So is that pretty much? Did you have it nailed on or not?
Pretty much, yeah. I think the debate we were having about it was the right back slot and whether Dynastia comes back in. And I think that's probably my biggest disappointment. And I need to quickly say that there was a mass meet-up in the post office vaults in Birmingham before the game with Ben, GB, Mullet, Mark, Stu, Gav,
Yeah.
Steve. Apologies
Yeah.
if I've forgotten anyone. And it was quite a nice, but it was quite depressing to actually have to leave the pub at about 2 o'clock to go to the game. But I think the one bit that we debated was whether Pennington at right back over Dynastin was the right choice. But someone came up with a nugget that apparently Everton quite like him at right back or rate him as a future right back. So yeah, I could take the point about consistency. I'm just a bit disappointed Dynastin, one of the better players, is still being left out.
And I guess from that point of view, Seamus Coleman's not getting any younger, is he? I guess
he's not.
He can't be much older than about 26, is he, Seamus Coleman?
Sure he's not. I don't know. It just seems like he's been around forever.
He has.
Yeah.
One
of those players, really. I'm sure he's late 20s, maybe. Yeah.
So Birmingham, after their impressive win at Leeds the week before, also kept with the same lineup, which was Lee Camp and goal. Speaking of players that seem to be around for ages.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's still kicking about in the Championship.
Still has a man bun. Still has a man bun.
Where was he? Where was he last season?
Sunderland.
He was at Rotherham.
He played Sunderland the away game when we beat him up there.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Because he was Rotherham. Was it season before or season before? Yeah, certainly was. Okay, yeah.
Norwich before that.
Yeah.
Birmingham's back four was Colin, Morrison, Dean, Pedersen, Hotter on one wing, Romalo on the other, Gardner, and is it Lakin or Lakin? Lakin, Chris Lakin in the middle. Che Adams and Jutkovic were up top. Were there any surprises there, Rich? I also missed the preview this week.
Are you guys kidding me?
It's because of the Ryder Cup. It clashed with all of the Ryder Cup. Like that was all the radio and TV covered for.
Started 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
That was the formation, the personnel. I think we had a bit of debate as to who would be the Birmingham middle two in the midfield. There was a chat about whether Gardner would play and Kieftenbelt as well. No, Gardner played, didn't he? You said Gardner. Kieftenbelt, Dutch Mike, as they call him. But yeah, pretty much expected.
Okay, and the first action of the game, and shock horror, it's Ipswich struggling to defend a corner. Gherkin makes a couple of blocks, and then Gardner hits a lovely curling shot, which, I mean, Gherkin wasn't going to get near it. It came off the outside of the post. But then Ipswich seemed to settle down a little bit after a shaky start, and on 26 minutes we take the lead. Can you talk us through that one, Dave?
Yeah, I can. I mean, it was great. Really, initially, good play from Kennington, wasn't it? It was a proper ball up the line, something which you don't often see as play. Obviously, you get Knudsen whacking him up the line and invariably into touch, clearly. But no, it was a well-driven ball. And what I thought about the goal, very intelligent running by Jackson. We know he's got a lot of pace, but very, very intelligent running. Got the ball under control and, didn't, as we have perhaps seen once or twice, didn't panic, looked comfortable, looked relaxed. And I laughed before the game because I think I said to you, Rich, and you answered it. I thought, Nolan's due a goal. And you said, no chance, not gonna happen. And I think I said, well, he might do if you're like 40 yards out because, that's position we wanted Nolan in, in and around the box. And I got to say, yeah, nice weight of ball from Jackson, class finish, absolute class finish first time. Clip, I'd call that one, not a chip, not a shot, a clip.
Yeah, it was swept in, wasn't it?
Just clipped it into the far corner. Class goal, class finish. Yeah, and I was listening to a little bit at that stage, sort of wouldn't say it wasn't deserved. I know, obviously, Mikey said that obviously Birmingham had the chance very early on when they hit the outside of the post, but I think we were coming more, by that stage, 25, 26 minutes, we were more and more into the game, weren't we?
Yeah, I would say probably...
even down.
Just talking about that one chance, Mikey, it was an onslaught, frankly, for the first 5-10 minutes. It was, and
chance was.
Gherkin was not getting that shot that hit the post. Flaps for the corner, the set piece that leads up to it, which is a kind of symbol of what's to come as well. But we were lucky to not concede early doors, and it'd be like another hole. And then Ward broke through just before we scored, actually, which kind of suggested that Birmingham would be kind of a bit light at the back, and it was. And as you say, you described the goal perfectly. Really great run from Jackson, and arriving right on time, Nolan for a first goal.
That was a really good goal. The meaningful ball from Pennington, good run from Jackson, great finish. Yeah, can't argue with that. Great goal.
Yeah, when I saw that we were 2-0 up at half time, because I was busy during the first half, when I was looking to see who it was that scored, I was really hoping it would be Nolan.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, good for him, even though we'll get to it, but it doesn't sound like he enjoy the best of games after that.
Well,
but at least he's off the mark.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
So 10 minutes later, and it's nearly 1-1. And again, it's because we're struggling to defend a set piece. Pedersen has his downward header brilliantly cleared off the line by Knudsen.
Unbelievable.
So then we move on.
Fantastic. I mean,
moments later, we cause some problems of our own from a corner, don't we, Rich?
Yeah, I mean it's a proper Ipswich bit of defending from Birmingham City, to be honest, because I mean it's not a fantastic corner, is it? It kind of bounces it kind of chest height across the box, across the 6-yard line, and there's no one there. I mean, how it drops to Pennington, I don't know. I guess it's kind of similar and it will be similar to the goals that we'll describe for later, Ron. It just falls really nicely right in front of him. The ball's kind of on the floor. He just kind of prods it in with a bit of attention, but no one anywhere near the ball, no one stopping it, no one cutting it out. As I say, it's like an Ipswich goal.
It was a weird one. It's almost a slow motion goal, and I bet you were there. So, hang on, it's in.
I think we were a bit.
What's happened there?
There was definitely a bit of surprise.
Or something. What's happened?
And I'll be honest, I didn't know it was I thought it was Scouse who'd scored it as well. So I was going. It was even better for me.
Yeah.
Were the Ipswich fans singing? What were they singing? We Are Staying Up, or was it
there was
Up
two.
The Football League we go?
There was We Are Staying Up. Definitely happened. There was another. We had EIO as well at 2-0 as well. Up the Football League we go. And at that point we're out the bottom three actually at 2-0.
We are out of the bottom three, and at half time on this famed WhatsApp group that we keep referring to, Stat pipes up and says that the game is won. Put a fork in Birmingham.
Stick a fork in him. Good old Stat.
But I sensed from you, Rich, that you weren't so sure you were in the ground.
I've been to Birmingham City more times than I care to imagine, given I live up here, and us and Leeds are always a precarious thing, and I don't think anyone was kind of confident that we were going to see it out, but I think most people were saying keep it tight for the first 10-15 minutes, let them get frustrated, did not concede early on, and how did that go, Rich? Well, it didn't go particularly well. Actually, go on, Dave.
Didn't Nolan nearly score? I haven't seen a highlight of this, but apparently Nolan nearly made it 3-0 because I went out, so 2-0 up at half time. I had to go out, so I was just by the time second half must have started now. So by the time I left there and sort of switched the radio on in the car, obviously celebration Birmingham had just scored. Oh, shit, 3 minutes in, that's great. But then they said, well, from Town having nearly made it 3-0, but it was a good Nolan free kick.
Yeah, Nolan free kick, just wide of the post.
People watching it or covered?
No, I think he was watching it and hoping it wasn't going to go in.
Oh wow,
it was pretty close. Yeah. And Nolan obviously got his confidence having scored the goal. But yeah, I mean the thing is, when St Andrews is up for it, it's a really oppressive atmosphere, and you guys can tour through the goal, but as soon as that went in, it was just nerves. And I'm not going to pretend that at 2-0, the Ipswich fans were giving it the big one. There was, we were happy we're in the front.
Yeah, especially when they score. I mean, it was, to me, it was terrible defender. Well, you talk through the goals. I've only seen highlights, but we just lost it in midfield, and it was just 1-2. Ball slipped through. Chambers gets turned so easily.
And he's not a particularly fast or skillful player.
Chambers is just too tight on him. So he rolls him, doesn't he? He just rolls him over, and he's got great finish, good finish.
Yeah, nice sweep into the corner.
It was so easy, wasn't it?
I think it was Nolan who conceded possession in midfield as well. I think he tries to get his foot on the ball and actually prods it to. I don't know if it's Jukovic or someone else who plays him in, but yeah, it's just really sloppy. And we were having quite a debate on the Blue Monday WhatsApp group later on. I don't know if it got quite a bit fraught and anxious between old Stat and Ben about leadership and this quote that Hurst gave full time. But that's the moment where you want your midfielders to stick their foot on the ball and just calm the game down. Just frustrate Birmingham and keep them away from the goal. And we're just mucking around with the ball in the midfield.
Wasn't it Nolan who was sloppy for the Norwich goal? It was, wasn't it? Nolan was really sloppy for the Norwich equaliser. Yeah, he was. Where he should have hooked it and he tried to play it and lost possession. He did, it wasn't.
Yeah, and Chalobah as well, not covered in glory either.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2-1, and kind of that 2-goal lead is we were looking quite good at the end of the first half, but 1 goal back straight away, and it's going to be an onslaught for the rest of the half, and so it proved to be.
Yeah. Gherkin made a great save from Che Adams. It was sort of similar move. Chambers again was just too tight. Good save. And then Jutkovic had a header that, I mean, it never really looked like going in, but sort of clipped the top of the crossbar. And then on 68 minutes, the circus music starts and it's 2-2. Can you try and explain that goal, Dave, without swearing too much?
I'll tell you, I've got to swear. I think clusterfuck just sums it up, doesn't it? I mean, what the? Jeez. Well, first of all, but was it you, Mike? You said it perhaps wasn't a free kick, or were you talking about the Penningtons? Something else that I thought maybe you mentioned. I'm sorry, Rich.
It wasn't a free kick. It
wasn't even a free kick.
I think it was the incident that I think Ben talked about in his post-match review. Knudsen
didn't listen to that either. Sorry, Ben.
God, we love our content here on the Blue Monday team.
Dave he only listens when he's been on.
I listen to myself. So last week, it was This Week in ITF's History and Naked Footy Show.
Dave only gets high off his own supply. That's fine.
Yeah. But no, I do listen. But I didn't know last night.
Available Acast, iTunes, and YouTube. There you go, Ben. It's Knudsen tries to do a kind of a hacked volley clearance and gets his boot up quite high. I don't know who it is. It might be Jota who's kind of trying to nip in and win it with the head. But if Jota's nowhere near it, it's never a free kick at all. The fact is that Jota sticks his head in. The referee feels he has to give it because otherwise it's dangerous. So it wasn't a free kick as far as I was concerned.
So he takes a free kick, and we all know his delivery. He's got a class left foot, so he's wide right, so he's swinging it in. I didn't really pick up on this, but I saw the goals on EFL with Dave Pratt and it's Liam Rossignol do it on EFL, and they picked that. It was very good. We had two in a little wall in front of him, so Christ knows he's never going to shoot from there well. And then our defenders, our line, were just too deep, miles too deep. You could see it. They weren't in line with the wall. They were just too deep. So as the ball comes in, Gherkin goes for it. Gets caught under the ball, but the defence are right on top of him. So they said if he's got perhaps they should be 4 or 5 yards further up. He's got 4 or 5 yards more to perhaps come out and even catch the ball. And he just gets underneath it. It's a horrible punch. He's overbalances. Then we're a bit unlucky because I think Harley Dean wins the first header, and I don't know who's there challenging with him, but he almost wins it and heads it clear, but it hits him as well. Then it all gets a bit fuzzy.
It's a bit messy, isn't it?
Goes back to Dean, and then I think Jutkovic has a header, and it's sort of headed off the line by Chambers. Then Dean wins it again, and then I think it's Shalabar gets some sort of block on it, like something or nothing. Then he wins it again, I think. I might have been doing him I'm sure he can't win it 3 times. Certainly wins it twice. And it falls to Jutkovic, and it's quite a good finish. I know he's only 6 yards out, but he swivels on it and just puts it right in the top. It's a horrible, horrible goal.
Yeah. Yeah, it had kind of my kind of view of it is similar to the Rotherham goal that they scored in the last minute, purely because it just lands at Jutkovic's feet. It's a total mess, but he's the quickest to react and launches it into the roof of the net.
Yeah, Gherkin didn't cover himself.
He should catch it.
He should catch it, but in now I've seen the show, the EFL show and their breakdown of the goal. I tend to agree. We're just so deep, and we're all on top of him.
Yeah, the way I look at it is, if you look at the back four that we had out, and it would be the same with Donatian in there. All 4 are very good in the air. They win their fair share of headers against whoever they're up against. It's organisation and it's panic. Chalobah's another big lad. He always seems to be on his arse when the ball goes in the net from these set pieces. He just can't seem to stay on his feet. He just sort of panics and just tries to throw himself at things, and he's got so much composure on the ball, and then as soon as we have to defend set pieces, he's not the only one.
It may well be that because we've conceded so many from set pieces that we just think we can only defend it that deep. We're not confident enough to push forward. But it was an awful goal. And obviously, I'm going to dig out. I was out at that stage, and I think Rich and someone was wasp at me, and I thought, oh god, I don't even look. I don't even look at TWTD. I just say, we're going to lose.
Meltdown. Yeah. I accept the kind of mitigating circumstances that they've analysed for the goal about the wall. Obviously, at the game, we don't really see that. We're the opposite end of the pitch. But the view that I've got, so we're looking straight down the pitch at the goal. There's no one either side of Gherkin. The whole middle of the goal is completely free for him to come and grab it. And he's on his arse as well. He punched it and he's on it. I think that's a mistake from him.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say it's not really. It just doesn't get enough on it. He is impeded. Well, he's not impeded because it's not a foul, but yeah, he is blocked out. But he should get more of it. He just mistimes his jump, really, doesn't he?
Should catch it.
Yep.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
Been harsh.
As time ticked down, things went well. I suppose I don't know if they went from bad to worse, but Pennington did a couple of professional fouls, if you could call them that, and gets himself sent off. Was that the right decision, Rich?
The first one's a clear yellow.
Not just, sorry, right decision from the referee, and was it the right decision from Pennington to do those professional fouls in those areas?
So the first yellow in isolation, you can kind of understand. I mean, players are going to get booked.
Yeah.
I think Magoma was through, so he's got to do something. And the second one is just really stupid and petulant, actually, because he's taking it's a throw in. I think the ball is gone over Magoma's head and he's running onto it, and Pennington just kind of pulls him back.
Yeah,
it's a really dumb one, and to be honest, most of our red cards this season, I mean, this must be a record already at this point for us.
Stat said, get the spreadsheet out. I think he said we had 3 in the up till November. Did he say in 2006 or something? I can't remember what he said.
He says having 3 reds at the end of September.
Oh, it was September.
Is a joint record with 2005, 2006. So that would have been under Jimmy Gilton, right?
Yeah.
And we'd had a similar start to the season in some ways, where we, I suppose it had picked up a little bit, but maybe there was a little bit of panic and disorganisation.
I think you're right. We had it was a season after one of the playoff seasons.
Was it quite an experienced squad?
Should have gone up. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So 2-2 is how it ended. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
Should we mention? Didn't they have a hell of a chance near the end?
Of course. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Gherkin save.
I think he did. He blocked.
Yeah, his chest, wasn't it?
I think it was Adams, wasn't it? Adams, and he just didn't get anything on it at all.
Yeah.
Do you know what? In the end, when I saw us go to 2-2 with like 20 odd minutes still, 25 minutes with time added on, and with the sending off and stuff, it's probably a good point. It's one of those games where if you just say Birmingham won at Leeds, don't fancy that. And I was saying it all last week on the pod, we ain't going to get anything there. So it's one of those games, 2-2, okay, yeah, good, but it's just the manner of it, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's actually, we'll quickly move on to the Twitter questions. And the first one I've got is from Matty Chaplin. And he said that he agrees in some ways that he thinks it was 1 point gained. As a lot of people were saying, Birmingham were the better side in the second half, and we were down to 10 men in the closing stages. Would you agree with that, having been at the game, Rich?
I don't know, Mikey, because we're 2-0 up, aren't we? So I don't see it as any points gained. I see it as 2 points lost. I'm being harsh, but we are now in the point as a club where if we don't get a win quite soon, we are in big trouble. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it. I'm sorry.
We're getting away with it a little bit at the moment, aren't we? Because there is quite a few other teams around.
In a crap run of form, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky that there's a lot of crap down the bottom of the Championship. I mean, focus on the positives, right? We've gone on a little bit of an unbeaten run. We've not lost it away, which is a good thing. We've scored 2 goals, so I'll take that. But there comes a point where our expectations are so low that chucking away 2-goal leads is a good thing, and I guess that's my philosophy is kind of, I'd expect for a little bit more. But
it was terribly, it was the goal 3 minutes after half time completely unhinged us. And Richard, you guys are both right. You hold what you got. And Mick Mills was raving about it, ranting about it on Radio Suffolk, as you can imagine. It's just a sloppy goal to give away, and they're up. And the crowd, as you quite rightly said, Rich, St Andrews, the crowd are up as well. It's just disappointing. But yeah, I honestly thought when it 2-2 with 20, like I said, we were going to go on to lose. So from my point of view, they probably did well to hold out for a point in the end.
Yeah, and on paper, you say an away point with 10 men for not long, but a team like ours it is struggling. You take that and maybe concentrate on your home games. But what we haven't talked about, Mikey, that during the game, Birmingham had chances and Birmingham dominated most of the game, but we actually had chances to actually nick it as well. There was a good chance that Ward had quite close in where he needed to get more power in the shot, and that would have made it 3-2 just after they scored, I think, if I get my timings right.
I'm never convinced it's a real chance though if it's Grant Ward on the end of it.
Well, indeed, if it's a striker.
So who did impress you? I mean, let's speak about Nolan. So Nolan gets his goal.
Yeah.
And you said right after half time, obviously quite confident, has quite a good free kick just wide. I mean, I've been reading comments on Twitter that aside from the goal, he was pretty largely anonymous.
Yep,
Largely
I'd
anonymous.
concur with that.
Again.
Yeah, absolutely right. Actually, I thought Chalobah had actually quite a good game up until a few. The second goal was no one's really coming out of that with smelling the roses. But Chalobah actually was getting the ball and trying to use it smartly. There was a couple of good turns that he did as he does.
How about Jackson?
I mean, like always, we didn't see a great deal of him, but his running is a lot smarter. I think he started to figure stuff out. I don't know whether he's getting coached or whether Walters maybe is giving him some tips there or whatever. But the first goal is a really good example of really smart running, cutting back as well, getting an assist. So I think Ben was sort of saying it's now a goal. He's got a Bolton player sent off to try and give us a chance against them. An assist. He's definitely,
Ben's superb.
He's starting to get involved at the sharper end, isn't he?
I'm trying to find positives for you guys.
Because Ben is superb at clutching at straws.
Mrs. Nuts on Twitter, that's with 2 T's.
Yeah.
She came up with quite an interesting point, which maybe excuses throwing away the 2-goal lead in the second half. She said, the low autumnal sun was fierce. All 4 goals were conceded in the blindingly sunny end. Is that attributable?
Rich,
I said Gherkin should be wearing a cap. There was a point.
He's got a great haircut, hasn't he? He's not going to wear a hat with that.
He's not going to cover that over, is he?
Wow. There was a point in the second half where I think a cross went in. I don't know if it might have been a goal. Yeah, he's this Denver Broncos, Miami Dolphins hat, doesn't he?
Could be any NFL
tailor-made cap.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure how Stat will react to you saying it was Miami Dolphins, but.
Or tailor-made. You don't even know what that is.
Worry. They make lob wedges for the end and shade. There was a point where a cross went in and Gherkin kind of looked. His face suddenly was lit up by the sun coming through the stand. I'm not sure it was a massive contributing factor, but I did mention it during the game, so I'll doff my cap to Mrs. Nuts.
She could be onto something there.
Yeah.
She could be onto something.
Staying with Gherkin, Ben Dawkins, in a roundabout way, asks, what needs to happen for Bart to return? Does it have to be a real clanger from Gherkin? What do you reckon, Dave?
Well, I think, again, yesterday, Rich, he made some good saves, didn't he?
1 or 2, yeah.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I mean...
Sorry. Yeah. Kicking not great, is it?
I mean, his kicking's not great, is it? His kicking isn't great.
But Bart's much
but that's the sort of mistake, the sort of error he made. If we're saying the second goal was his error, that's the sort of mistake Bart made twice. Would you say it's very similar against Sheffield Wednesday, for instance, the game before his drop? So he made 2. So you think, as the manager's looking at it, Gherkin's probably got enough in the credit column for now to remain, certainly at least for Tuesday. Yeah, you won't change it for Tuesday night. I don't think. I think you're right. He's probably got to have a game where he's completely low on confidence and throws a couple in probably now. That's how it is, isn't it now?
Well,
we haven't.
Gherkin will get injured now, won't he?
Yeah, well, I mean, they say our luck. I mean, there's the Pennington being out solves the right back spot. We won't be seeing him at right back on Tuesday, will we? So Donasian will surely play Tuesday. I don't know. Probably no. I'm not even going to contemplate that. Spence.
A Spence recall, yeah.
No, sorry. Or even worse, doesn't trust Spence at right back, so he moves Chambers across and brings Spence in at centre. Sorry, that could happen. No, it won't. Yeah,
good.
So we're without Pennington on Tuesday night. We'll also be without Ellis Harrison, who's picked up an ankle ligament injury in training. This is the sort of thing that we thought wouldn't happen in the Hurst era, but that can't necessarily be helped. Like, we don't know the details of it. But Luke Prentice wants to know, and this isn't an easy question, who do we try and get as a free agent with Walters and Harrison being out injured? I'll throw that one at you first, Rich. Have you got any names?
I think our mate Jules has been a long-term advocate of Darren Bent, though he's quite happy to sit in the Sky Studios, isn't he? I can't tell you of any. I think I read somewhere either on Twitter or EADT that the list of free agents for up front is pretty lousy, to be honest. So I don't know what we do there.
My lad came up with Jan Kermagant.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting one. And the MLS season must be coming to a close soon. Could we get someone from there? We get Tommy Smith up front. Yeah.
Saka, ask Daryl. Daryl will recommend
Bradley
someone.
Wright Phillips.
Daryl Jones is the one to ask about that. He'll recommend someone.
I think we can confirm that Morris we can't recall, can we? But I think we can recall.
Can we not?
No,
I was coming on to that. We can't recall. No recall on.
But we can recall Drinan, who's on non-league loan, I think.
Don't even know where he is. Sutton. Where's he?
Yeah.
What about? Did I read again something about Falami not even being at the club at the moment? He's away with Australia.
Yeah.
He is. For like 3 weeks or a month or something.
Yeah, I think at least. He's in a youth tournament with Australia.
Well, I saw that. So he's out. Looks like. Well, I mean, yesterday. I mean, what we should say about yesterday, which was good to see, Dazelle makes a reappearance in the squad, which I think everyone was pleased about. All right, he didn't get on, but Sears did, and Sears got on.
He did.
Get a touch.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he didn't have long, but yeah, he came on for Ward, and yeah, it looked alright. Ran around a bit.
I mean, Sears and Jackson. Doesn't it sound like gardening? Spear and Jackson, isn't it? Sears and Jackson. There's a bit of pace if they play. If they play up together, there's a bit of pace, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I quite like Sears. I don't know what he's done.
Well, I think he was he not? We thought he was being victimised after he was one that got a bit victimised after the Exeter debacle, and could have been one of the guys that caught the brunt of the manager's wrath. I think. Yeah, but I never had a problem with Sears, and to be fair, end of last season he got that wonderful goal at Reading, didn't he? Then a cracker against Middlesbrough and got his mojo back a bit, didn't he? So
he did that the previous season as well, though, and then started the season flat.
Pissed on my chips there, Mikey.
Sorry. Yeah, well, Freddie Sears has done that to me enough times over the last.
That's true. Breaks your heart, Freddie.
Joshua Berry wants to know. Sorry to interrupt there, but as we're on the subject of strikers, he wants to know, with Harrison out injured and Walters gone, how do we get the best out of Jackson? He said he thinks he was probably our best player yesterday, but we weren't playing to his strengths. Is Andre Dazelle the answer to that one, do you think?
I think a better number 10, so no offence to Noel, I mean, a number 10 who's going to support the striker, I think, is essential. But I guess I'm not going to disagree with Josh, but I think we are figuring out how to play to Jackson's strengths. The first goal is kind of an example of that. Brentford's second half is an example of that.
Yeah, using pace.
Yeah, exactly right. So we're putting balls into space for him to run onto.
Get behind.
Bolton as well. So I think we just need to do more of that. But yeah, he does need support. And again, the first goal yesterday is Jackson running in, using his pace to make an assist, and Nolan suddenly appearing kind of like an auxiliary forward and sweeping in the goal. So we can do it. We just need to do more of it.
Swept it in. That's the word I was looking for. He swept it in the top corner. You're right. Nailed it.
Thank you. Yeah. Thesaurus.
Schoolyard tweeted, in
Mullet.
inverted commas, 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline.
I hate that.
Gallows humour, an admission of how fragile we are, or an attempt to deflect away from the players and credit Birmingham. Surely another 90 minutes where we saw the best and worst of Paulhurst Rain does no one any favours and merely frustrates us all. What do you think, Dave?
I really don't know. I mean, you sort of going back to throwing it back to you, Rich. I mean, performance-wise yesterday, where do you put that of what you've seen so far?
I don't think it was much better than Bolton.
Same side, I guess.
Yeah, and it was slightly better than Hull for an away performance.
Yeah.
It felt very much like watching the previous manager. I'll be honest. Yesterday.
I mean, what concerns me is when we come up against teams like West Brom and potentially Borough. Yeah, potentially. I know we got them Tuesday, but the likes of West Brom and teams like that does concern me. Good grief, but yeah.
But to his question, I mean, the 2-0.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I mean he's right. I mean he is right, but again that 2-0 is a dangerous score. It's not. It is and it's not. And I've heard better managers than Paul Hurst say eminent managers than Paul Hurst say that about 2-0. 2-0's superb. If you hold on to it, which we obviously didn't do after half time. That is just criminal. That is criminal. What happened? That first goal, criminal. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it was the sun was facing.
Oh, sorry, the sun. Yeah.
But I just quick one on you know, what Dave's saying there, and what we expect from a Paulhurst team is high press, high energy, forcing mistakes and breaking on. We just haven't seen it.
I'm not seeing it.
And yesterday, second half, you know, the factor is we were sat deeper and deeper and deeper, and Birmingham were just picking us off. So he needs to kind of that second half of Brentford is the one kind of chink of light that we've got. We know we can play well. We know we can force teams into mistakes. We know we can score. He needs to put it together. I mean, otherwise he's going to run out of time, isn't he?
Yeah, he will. I mean, I think someone said we haven't won in 12. You know, going back to last season, we haven't won in 12 now. Is that right? Championship games.
I've not seen us winning since February.
Oh yeah, so you're at Reading. Were you not at Reading?
No, I didn't go to Reading. No.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Shall we get even more gloomy now? Barry Mann says, "Are there any games coming up you can see us getting points from the way we're playing? When do you honestly see this winless run coming to an end?"
I've got two. Hang on, I saw him early on. Hang on.
Go on, Rich, you go first then. If Dave's just going to consult his fixture list, where are the points coming from?
Go on, Dave. Go on.
November the 3rd, Preston at home. Saturday the 10th.
So we've only got to wait another month then.
Saturday the 10th, Reading away. Oh Christ, hang on, and then international break, and then West Brom at home. So we are.
I mean, Borough have got a shocking record at Bournemouth Road. Let's not forget Tuesday night. There's a chance there. Swansea away, I think will be swept away by Swansea. Swept. #swept.
Yep.
I don't think we'll get anything there. I think Borough is the best chance we've got at the moment.
Sorry, but Borough have got a defence like a bank vault though. I've conceded 4, I think, all season. Well, okay.
Maybe we'll get a point.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we're more inclined to get something on Tuesday than we would at Swansea, and particularly Swansea swept. There you go. QPR aside yesterday, didn't they? Quite convincingly, 3-0, I think it was.
I mean, we had quite a pertinent question from our mate Fim75 on the preview show, which I'll chuck in because neither of us, and Mikey, you can answer this one as well. Assuming we're not going to get a win for the next 2, then you know when does the clock start ticking and running out for us? Because that's the international break, isn't it?
What are you going to say? When does the clock change? There's a month today actually. Well, then we've got international break. Then we've got here's one QPR day game after the international break. QPR at home. Come on, sure.
Yeah, that might be last chance saloon for that one. I think he'll survive the international break.
This is typical Championship. So QPR at home on a Saturday. Who we got away on the Tuesday? Leeds.
There's 6 points there.
Yeah.
Leeds are tailing off already.
Leeds are,
It's already started. We'll get to that though. Thank you everyone for the Twitter questions. And you can ask these types of questions live in person after the West Brom game on November the 24th. It's at Curve Bar opposite the iconic Willis Building on Princes Street. The link for tickets is on the Blue Monday Twitter account, or you can just Google Blue Monday podcast live show and it comes up. It's going to be a fantastic evening. I'm sure Ben is putting a lot of work into it to make sure that it's a huge success. I'm sure you are as well, Dave.
Yeah, it's going to be
good. Make sure you buy your tickets early.
It's going to, yeah. As we said last week, Ed Sheeran tickets went in, I think 2 days worth went in about 20 minutes. So I think perhaps we've got a few more on, not a few more than Ed, but still got a few available, I think. But yeah, it'll be good, and it's something that Ben's spoken about doing it for ages. When it was just me and him, for God's sake, But yeah, now there should be a good night, and I know some of our long-standing and listeners and supporters are going to be there, so it'll be great to see everybody down there. Yeah, it should be good fun.
Okay, so let's move on to the rest of the championship now. So it's not all about Ipswich Town. Blackburn Rovers drew 2-2 against Nottingham Forest. Derby, after winning at Manchester United on penalties the other night, went and lost at Bolton.
Bonkers.
That's the championship for you. That sums it up for me. That result. As mad as it was the week before, Birmingham winning at Leeds, I just didn't see it. Bolton were awful. All right, notwithstanding they went down to 10. They're dreadful, weren't they? To be fair, quite well organised, but I didn't see that result at all. That was quite nice. I don't know if you saw the highlights. One tragic. Was it Stephen Darby? Has contracted like 29 motor neurone disease, and I know that's horrible. A work colleague of mine got it when he was like 40 odd, virtually he passed away 10 years ago, virtually to the day today actually. Terribly sad. So I know what that's like. Just awful. And what was lovely, Noon scored the goal, and all the players ran towards him. He was in the stands. That was a nice touch, but I just did not see that result coming at all. Really, crikey.
Another relatively this would have been a real shock result a few weeks ago, but things seem to have changed. Brentford drawing 2-2 at home to Reading, who I was sure that Reading were just going to be down there struggling all season, but Brentford seem to, since their disappointing draw away at Portman Road, seems to have slowed a little bit, Rich.
Yeah, a bit of a glitch there. And I think they were behind as well and had a man sent off, so it wasn't looking good. And then, I forgot his name, the guy who scored the winner.
Barbe,
yeah, scored a real 1950s, kind of 1960s goal where he basically just clobbers everyone out of the way to put it in right to death.
But Ben's in Brentford a lot, and he didn't say they're a soft touch, but what Ben has said, they'll give you a chance. Yeah, they're great going. And Mopai scored again yesterday. He's now got 9. He's a Championship's top scorer. But they will give you a chance, Brentford. And as Ben I think has been saying, he certainly doesn't see them as top 2, potentially playoffs, but. Yeah, they will concede.
Iffy keeping as well. I think Bentley let 2 through his hands, I think.
Yeah, horrible.
Particularly the second one.
Yeah.
Tuesday night's opponents, Middlesbrough, drew 1-1 at Hull. Sheffield United won 3-2 again. They've got they signed a striker in the summer who seems to be getting assists and goals all the time. What's his name? Some player, the Irish bloke.
Again, I checked. He played 90. When did he ever play 93 minutes for us? Well, he probably did over 4 games. But when did he ever 90 plus 3? He was substitute because he never plays a full game. I think they bought Leon Clark 90 plus 3 after. We're talking about David McGoldrick, obviously, after he's done the damage. So I think Sharp misses an early penalty for them, doesn't he? Billy Sharp. But then they get one, and McGoldrick obviously takes it, scores, and then it's great move for the winner. Side foot's the winner, but he looks fit.
Yeah,
he looks fit. It must be the lack of the commute. It's much easier journey for him.
I'd say
you're right, yeah.
I'd query whether
Sheffield obviously is.
Whether he really played the full 93 minutes or whether he was sat on his arse for a little bit.
Probably, but I always check and say he couldn't have played. How many, has he actually? I don't think McGoldrick's ever completed a game, plus stoppage time, but he's doing the business for them. Obviously, him and Sharp are obviously quite useful front two. And Millwall, Christ, what's happened to them?
Yeah.
Below us, for God's sake.
Yeah, that's a big game. When we go to the Den, that's
that might be my
week after the QPR game, I think.
Yeah, I think I might go there actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, Norwich beat Wigan 1-0. Preston.
Just quickly,
lost.
just to dwell on that. I
don't want to dwell on that.
No, it was a really crap pen, wasn't it? No one appealed for it. And it was Callum Connolly who gave it away as well.
But that's how it's going. I think they've won all these games they've won in this run. They've won by the odd goal, haven't they? Every single one. So they're 5th. I think, and I checked this morning, their goal difference is like +1. So it's going to go. They can't, or can they? I don't know. Teams get in the playoffs doing that. We've seen it before, but we'll see. We'll see there, but you can't deny they're on a good run.
The new leaders are West Brom.
Boing boing.
They, thankfully for us, they won 3-2 at Preston North End. And then, rather worryingly, next Saturday we face Swansea. They beat QPR 3-0 at home.
Too easy that. Very straightforward.
I didn't notice whether Selena played. I didn't notice. He certainly didn't score. Whether he was in the squad on the bench or not, I usually sort of check on stuff like that, but I didn't notice. But what was quite funny, that guy what's his name, Courtney Baker Richardson or something. Who it was only his second game. His first game was like 4 weeks ago against Millwall, and he got sent off for a dreadful forwards tackle after about 5 minutes. So that's kind of nice. So he's played his 3-match suspension. They brought him straight back in, and he scores a good goal to open the scoring, doesn't he?
I mean, there's a local link there because he was signed from Leamington FC, which is the local league club near me. And was really highly thought of, and they retweeted that he scored yesterday. I think they were quite happy about that. Maybe there's a bit of sell-on or a bonus on that one.
They're called the Windmills, aren't they, Rich?
The Breaks. They are. The ground is the windmill ground because you can see a windmill over the fields, but they're the Breaks.
Oh, what?
As in car brakes, because they used to be a load of mechanics. So shout out to Leamington FC.
Royal Leamington Spa.
Indeed. Chores.
And then in the Saturday evening game.
Sorry.
No, I'm not gonna interrupt office quotes.
You carry on. You can carry on.
In the late game, Stoke rescued a draw at Rotherham. Rotherham They seem to be half decent side this year.
Good at home, aren't they?
They threw it away.
I think they're good at home. Stoke are pretty crap, aren't they? He's got to be on fairly borrowed time,
Rowett
isn't he?
not
He's
the
gotta be.
Messiah.
Yeah, I see Bojan bloody came on and scored their equaliser.
Yeah.
For Christ's sake, where's he been? Yeah.
No idea. Friday night was a Yorkshire derby. Sheffield Wednesday won, Leeds United won. Brilliant goals in that game. Did you see the one from Reach?
Yes.
The loop.
Rich, describe it. What was it?
Thronka. I mean, you could argue that it's a cross-come shot.
Oh, he meant
off the
that.
post.
He meant that.
Off the,
It was
the
speculative.
crossbar and post. It was
Speculative is a great word. Someone had the temerity of put up there. Dave I think they were just tongue in cheek. Was it on a par with McGinn's goal for Villa?
me.
I think it was you, Rich. Which is you won't.
I knew the answer. Lead a question.
Yeah.
And in the other game, Bristol City drew 1-1 at home to Villa, who aren't particularly good
Bruce
either, are they, at the moment?
One
Steve
win in
Bruce
8.
borrowed time.
1 win and 8. I made a note. You talk amongst yourselves because the Villa squad is something absolutely bloody scary. So on the bench for that. Well, by the way, this week I just Grealish has signed a new 5-year contract. You see that?
Yep.
5 years. But the Villa's bench was included Whelan, Balassi, El Mohammedi, and Albert Adoma on the bench.
Oh, wow.
Ridiculous.
He's got no
I reckon one or
excuses,
two of
Bruce.
them would get in our starting lineup.
You reckon?
A good few, yeah.
I think it's a good race. Race for the sack between Hurst and Bruce. I don't know. I'd probably put Bruce to be favourite.
Rowett comes in. That Rowett must come into that as well.
There thereabouts, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think short price those three. I think.
So I'll have a little look at the league table. I'm not going to try
Do the
and work
extrapolation,
out.
Mikey. Come on, we all want to hear it.
I can't do that.
Extrapolate.
I can't do that, I'm afraid. We've got 6 points. We've played 10 games.
Oh, there you go.
What does that mean? I can't.
Multiplied by 4. That's 24. That's about 30, isn't it?
Okay,
Crap.
and that
I know
is.
that.
So there was.
Oh, you're rubbish.
I was having a chat with somebody before the game yesterday who compared us to Wimbledon in the season before they got relegated and became MK Dons the next season.
Right.
They got beat, I think, by I forget what the analogy was. And Wimbledon finished with 29 points and were clearly bottom. And someone made the analogy to us, and that really depressed me yesterday. So if you're not feeling depressed enough already, look up the Wimbledon.
Didn't they win 5-1 at Portman Road that year as well?
I think that was the one before, possibly.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
So there you go. We are the new Wimbledon.
Woo.
The new old Wimbledon.
Yeah, not good. Not good, chaps. Not good.
One mathematical pattern that I am picking out here. Leeds were top at the end of August. They're now second at the end of September. So if they carry on this pattern, they'll end up in their usual position, just outside the playoffs. Unless I'm mistaken.
I think you've probably nailed that. Yeah, good one. Yeah.
Middlesbrough are still up there in third. They're going to be up there all season, aren't they?
Yeah.
Despite a shock defeat at Portman Road on Tuesday night. United are still up there with that brilliant Irish striker. Brentford are in sixth. They've dropped down to sixth. Yeah, Norwich are fifth. Swansea seventh. Wigan eighth.
I mean, it's
Wigan
not a great division,
maintaining it, aren't they?
It's
not
rotten. It's
rubbish.
rotten. I think going down to fifth. I think Villa. Did I again? I might have written that Villa are in 15th, wherever they are, 2 points off sixth. It's just all
there's not
concertinaed
much
up.
in it.
It's pretty poor. I don't
Wigan
see.
are 4
I think
points
West
off
Brom will score loads of goals and stuff, but there's no Wolves in there. There's no Wolves or Newcastle in that division this year. No, don't see it.
So if we have a look at we'll miss out the mid-table because that's not our thing anymore. Preston, still good old Preston is still bottom. Millwall have dropped to second from bottom. We're now up to 22nd.
Come on,
up we go. Hull 1 spot above us. Reading, QPR, Rotherham, Stoke are the surprise package down there, and Birmingham are up to 16th.
Rubbish.
I believe I saw like Bolton. What did I say? Bolton have got like 14. Did I know that? They got like 14 or 15.
They had a good start, didn't they?
They did. Bolton. Yeah, it was Bolton 14th with 15 points, which is I think a point off the playoffs, I think. But yeah, so it's ground to be made up. I'm sure we'll still we are in another month. We'll see.
We'll be fine. Do you want to play two little ducks, guys?
Depends.
Yeah.
What we're looking at. What
is it? Is it the Ryder Cup team from Medina?
From Medina.
It isn't, but there is
Timer.
a Ryder Cup inspiration here. I remember going to West Ham away in 2004, and people were listening to Ryder Cup on the radio, and I remember that Europe won. So it's the 18th of September 2004. Joe Royle is Ipswich manager.
Did we win 2-1 and Pab scores 2?
No, that was Boxing Day, either the season before or the season before that. This is the season that we
play them in the playoffs.
Yeah, or one of them. Alan Pardew is in the West Ham dugout.
Give us sorry, Mikey. Give us a date again for that game.
18th of September 2004. So it's the 2004-2005 season.
Oh, well, we should have gone up. Right. Yeah. I know it wasn't. Hang on, 18th of September.
Have we said what the score was? What was the score?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the score was 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah, West Ham led at half time.
Who scored? So 2000
Ipswich equalised in the second half.
Wowzers! Yeah. It's not a game I can remember that well. I remember, but perhaps I can glean some inspiration from the playoffs, because I think it's the two little ducks we might have done last year, but for the playoff game, either that season or the season before, I will say Kelvin Davis.
Kelvin Davis is correct.
Does Sheringham score the goal for West Ham? That's a question.
No, he doesn't.
Good to know. I'm trying to recall.
But you might be onto something there.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
Teddy Sheringham? Go.
Correct.
Oh, there you go.
He missed a penalty, and also Kelvin Davis made an unbelievable double save. Sheringham shot from about 4 yards, and Davis saved it, and Sheringham shook his hand.
Certainly,
Kelvin Davis is the man of the match that day.
Certainly in the playoff game, he made the best ever save I think I've ever seen. Well, one of them from
this is definitely
from Elliot Ward in the playoff game.
Yeah,
from Elliot Ward in the playoff game. In the playoff game, that was though.
He might have played in the playoff game.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
What about Noble?
No.
Are you telling him not to play that?
No, don't play that. Don't play that one. I would say 2000 and 2004. Oh my goodness, Seb. Oh, I know. I would say, God.
Magilton. Oh my God. You have a Magilton, Dave.
I'd say Jim Magilton.
Jim Magilton.
Mikey,
you're going to play your golden goose?
Yeah, I'll play my golden goose on that then, because clearly he didn't play. Yeah,
he didn't play.
I'm a shocker here.
Hang on. West Ham. Who scores the goal? Oh,
it's got to be one of the Marlon Harewood. I'm just going by the
Marlon Harewood did play.
Tommy Miller.
Tommy Miller played.
Yeah, we're getting somewhere. Darren Bent.
Darren Bent played. I think he hit the bar.
Okay.
Think of the back four. Think of that centre-back partnership
DeVos.
that played a lot of games together. DeVos is correct.
Yeah, JDV played.
Is Kevin Orlock in the team at that point, Dave?
Potentially.
He is in there.
Potentially.
Correct.
Yeah. Let me think.
Dressa Diallo, is he in there?
Dressa Diallo is in there.
Good shout, man.
Yeah.
Good shout.
You nearly said one there that's incorrect.
Oh, okay.
But you got it right. You got the right one.
I'm trying to think West Ham side.
There's a couple of West Ham players that played for Ipswich later on in their careers.
No.
No.
I want to say, is Etherington in the West Ham team?
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a couple of ex-Norwich players in the team, including their goal scorer. And he'd only just left Norwich. So this was the first time we faced Ipswich, not in a
Well,
Norwich
we're
shirt.
struggling, aren't we? We need some clues.
West Ham goalkeeper. I know it was a really unusual goalkeeper for the playoff game. Any hint on that one, Mikey?
Well, the one you're thinking of was an unused slab.
Jimmy Walker.
Yeah.
Okay.
The actual goalkeeper was one of the ones that did end up playing for Ipswich.
What? I don't know, man.
Oh, struggling.
Yeah, I know. I always.
And the other ex-Ipswich was a really unpopular loanee in the Paul Jewell.
Oh, Nigel Reo-Coker.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Nigel Reo-Coker.
Awful.
Ipswich. So that's all. Curry hasn't signed yet. Darren Bent. Have I said him?
You've said Darren Bent.
2004. Ambrose gone, I think. Matt Richards.
Matt Richards is an unused sub, so you stay alive.
Westlake, Dave?
Yeah, Westlake's
correct.
Westlake's a good shout. Yeah. Westlake's a good shout. Centre back, JDV.
Yeah,
we got the other centre back, Jason DeRoss.
Very long-serving Ipswich player.
Richard Naylor.
Yeah,
Naylor.
Correct. Yeah.
No, West Ham. Come on, to be aggressive. West Ham. Who was the fullback? I'm just going.
Ian
for
Pearce?
I've just noticed something.
We
Jimmy
got wrong.
Chilton did play. I am terribly sorry. So you've still got Golden Goose.
Woo. Okay.
I've said
I'll
Ian.
give you here I'm coming with a golden goose. Thomas Repka.
Nice.
Correct.
Nice. Is Ian Pearce in the West Ham team as well, Dave? Do you think?
I don't know. I'm just thinking the season before.
Okay.
The season before, the other guy who scored in the playoff the season before was Christian Daly. But I'm not sure. He's probably not there, is he? No.
I'd say that's your Golden Goose.
That's my golden goose. Okay, yeah, I'm pushed there, aren't I? I've got to say it. Bobby Zamora.
You're out, I'm afraid.
Oh,
No.
end of the agony.
So the ex-Norwich player who opened the scoring was Malky Mackay.
Oh, bloody hell.
Don't finish that sentence. Chris Powell was playing left back.
Really?
Thomas Repka, Callum Davenport.
Wow.
In midfield, they had Carl Fletcher, Nigel Reo-Coker, Luke Chadwick, and Matthew Etherington.
Wow.
Didn't know Chadwick went to them.
And Sheringham and Harewood were up front. And they had Sergei Rebrov on the bench. I didn't remember him being there. For Ipswich, you got most of them, to be fair. You did forget Fabian Wilness and Pablo Caniago.
I thought I was going to say.
But apart from that, you got the starting 11. You got
good.
Westlake.
I thought Dave said Caniago before we even started, so I thought that was a given, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was Caniago that scored the equaliser, incidentally.
That's what I was thinking.
So yeah, you got a fair amount there.
Pablo swiveled and put that in. I remember that was on the main game on the Championship, I think, if you remember back to that, when it was on ITV.
It was indeed. Yeah. I think...
Do I get a point for that?
Got 14? You do, yeah. Yeah, if you can get the presenter, you get another point.
Matt Smith.
Correct.
That's not true. You've made that up, haven't you?
No. I'm pretty sure it was Matt Smith.
I think it was the very next game we played, because we did it on the thing last week. I think the very next game we played... no, it wasn't. No, it was the season before. No, take that back. Sorry.
Not a Watford. You were thinking of a Watford game, were you?
Yeah, no, it's the season before.
Okay.
Right, so next up for Ipswich, our unbeaten home record under Paul Hurst is on the line as we take on Middlesbrough. Dave, would you be tempted to start with the same side for the continuity's sake? But with Dynasty starting at right back?
I think so. Why wouldn't we? Well, what's he going to change? I don't see him changing. Injuries permitting, I don't see him changing much.
It is a shame, though, after two pretty disappointing draws, we can't think of who should come in. I mean, I know we all want Emir Hughes and Andre Dazelle to come in, but that's probably not going to happen, is it?
Christ,
I think the only bit of freshen up you would probably consider, given he faded so much in the game on Saturday's Ward, and maybe either bring in Sears or Graham.
Oh, there's a point actually. That's a good point. Yeah, well, because he won't leave Nolan out, will he? We know that. So yeah, Ward might be a good shout. He's gonna, and you got that nailed on the other week, didn't you? When you said that was brilliant. Actually, been about 10 minutes. I thought, Christ, Richard's got a hotline to Paul Hurst. He said, "I see Graham on for Ward."
Yes.
And then, hang on, wait, 10 minutes. What? Yeah. So that's a good shout. Yeah, that might be a good shout actually.
Rich, just to give us a little teaser for the preview show, who's the danger man for Middlesbrough? Who should we be looking out for on Tuesday?
So, sadly, Harry and I won't be doing a show for Borough because it's the Tuesday night.
Oh, of course.
Jobby.
Sorry,
but
Swansea.
I mean,
but Asumba Longa scored on Saturday against Hull. I think the biggest issue that I see for us is the set pieces again, and Aidan Flint defending, trying to stop Aidan Flint from scoring. He loves to score for Bristol City against us. So I think at both ends of the field, there's things to worry about.
It's just quality through the team. So again, I'd look at their bench, but the team yesterday was Randolph, Shot, and Flint, Ayala, Friend, Clayton, strong midfield, Clayton, Howson, Jimmy Savile, McQueen, Asomba Longa, Jordan Hugill, forgot about him.
Yeah, he started on Saturday.
There's a couple of brutes up front.
Yeah.
Again, the bench, Downing, Danny Bath in from Wolves, Braithwaite and Besic. I mean,
Besic on the bench. Wow.
Yeah, strong.
But they have got a terrible record at Portman Road. I think they might have beaten us last season or season before.
Drew last season. Do you remember the season they went up? Stuani scored
of course,
it was on telly.
Yeah.
It was on telly.
So before that, I think they've got a really terrible record. So there you go. I'm trying to find.
I remember a
positive.
4-0. I remember a 4-0 when Dyer played for him. I remember an abandonment. Do you remember the abandonment?
Yes.
Yeah, that was Boxing Day, wasn't it?
No, I don't think so. I think it was. I'm not sure it was Boxing Day, but it was certainly.
Because the rematch was the one we won 4-0, and that was Terry Connors.
The abandonment wasn't Boxing Day. Yeah, because we started quite well, didn't we? We were 1-0 up, and then the game got abandoned.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah,
but it was clearly,
right in front of us. It was just like skating, wasn't it? The sun hadn't got to the pitch.
But remember the 14-15 game with Tabby. Tabby header.
That was one of the great goals. And what one of the great goals too.
Cross from Bishop.
Bishop. Yeah.
Chambers playing that goal, ridiculous. No, I mean I'd take a point now. Yeah. I know, extend the home unbeaten run. Okay, no win, but I don't think a point would necessarily be a bad result on Tuesday. Just keep.
Which run do you think is
4 games unbeaten?
Which run do you think is most likely to end though? The winless one or the unbeaten home?
For some reason, I think we'll get a point on Tuesday. I don't know why.
Okay. Another 6 home draws in a row. I mean, that is consistency, isn't it?
It's consistent.
And that's what we were looking for this season.
Get that spreadsheet out, Stat.
But yeah, to your point, Mikey, though, and it was a lovely link, and I obviously wasn't able to use it, but the preview show will be back next Friday with me and Harry for Swansea, where I think we'll get beat. So
I'm
listen
going to that one.
Are you?
I'm going.
It's a long old way. Long old way.
Yeah, it's a lot. I read a lot of people are going to that because it's ground we haven't played on before.
I think we played there once.
Yeah,
Jason Scotland scored, I think. Yeah.
Was it Paulo Sosa's team? I think absolutely destroyed us there.
Yeah,
quite possibly. Yeah,
I think right. Yeah, we must have played there once. Yeah, fair while ago. But yeah, I think my first is going to be Millwall away. I think at the end of October. I think hopefully we'll have won by then, but no guarantees there.
Is there going to be this week in ITFC history this week though, Dave?
There isn't. Stat. I can't say Stats. Otherwise, he's indisposed. Stat is indisposed. I can't say. No, I think he's got school business, so no, there won't be one this week.
Parents' evening.
And spoiler alert, the games this week were crap. The games are rubbish. We were really, really struggling for game. There was some sort of 0-0 draws in there and stuff like that. So no, Stats really busy. We can't do it Tuesday night because obviously footy. Wednesday night and I think Thursday night is busy, so there will be no ITFC. But we'll be back with a bang, and Stats. Stats, the man of 1,000 voices, will be back. We'll be back next week.
But if you want a fix of on this day, kind of looking back in history, today is the anniversary of Everton 0, Ipswich Town 3, Premier League. Stat has stuck the goals up. We've stuck up both of Marcus Stewart's goals. So if you're feeling nostalgic and want to remember when we were actually half decent, Look on the Twitter account.
I forgot how one of his goals was how similar it was to the goal he scored, the winning goal he scored at Anfield. The goal where he dances around the defence, brings it back inside the keeper, lays a defender on his arse, and then not quite. He goes to stroke it and it gets blocked, doesn't it? Then
Second
he
attempt.
But I loved how nonchalantly he poked in on the second attempt. It was just he loved a slow motion goal, didn't he?
That was the game, wasn't it? That was the game where I think you thought, blimey, what's going on? I think both those seasons we won at Everton twice. We won the next season as well.
Holland scored a thronker.
Yeah, and that was Sixto Peralta scored as well. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Wasn't that long ago, was it? Mark Venus's rocket at Southampton is one of, I can't remember which day it is, but it's going to be on the Premier League Twitter account this week. I've been told.
That was one
you retweet and like that one to show everyone.
That was one of those goals from about 30 yards. It was still rising as it went in, wasn't it?
Yeah, he hit that. Yeah.
Whacked it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Christ, what a goal! He had that in his locker, didn't he, Alvino?
He did indeed. Yeah. So we've managed to talk about the past and the good old days, even though we got relegated that season, to end the show. So yeah, goodbye. Both of you. Any words of wisdom for Tuesday night? Dave first. You look ready.
I can't. I really. Hopefully, look. Words of wisdom. No. Hopefully, we'll go with much the same side. Let's get some continuity. And look, if we can get a point, I'll be happy with a point on Tuesday. More than happy.
Rich, somebody commented when Ben did the usual shout out for questions for this show. Somebody commented that is the relative low number of questions, so he's comparing it to previous weeks where we've had quite a lot, reflective of apathy returning to Ipswich fans.
Yeah, I saw that one and thought it's a really interesting comment, isn't it? Who knows? I mean, so the atmosphere last week wasn't fantastic. The atmosphere in the away end yesterday also. I would say it's not apathy. I think it's apprehension, anxiety. And I think probably what we all need is a lovely confidence-boosting 2-0 win on Tuesday night, and everyone suddenly will feel a lot better.
Rich, is there any, the away fans and stuff? Is there any? There's no Hurst out stuff or anything like that? Then any anti-Evans stuff at all? Or,
no, I mean that was the thing. And to your point, Mikey, about apathy, it was pretty quiet then. Quiet yesterday afternoon. I think most people were kind of nervous that we were going to chuck away a 2-0 lead. Oh, no, we did. But at least we didn't lose. But yeah, it was just generally quiet yesterday, and yeah.
I think the first time we'll hear, if we carry on like this, the first time we'll hear that will be Millwall away, the classic London away game.
Oh God, yeah. Actually,
people like me and you
QPR
go, Dave.
Actually, I might rethink that one. Actually, yeah, you're right, probably. Yeah, QPR at home, if we haven't won, could be a bit tense, couldn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Cheers, guys. We managed to turn it back to a bit of negativity at the end there. Yeah, thanks everyone for listening. So yeah, see you later, Rich. See you later, Dave.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Rich. Careful what you wish for. Goodbye.